What's going on, guys? Dave Cordoba here with our last and final interview this week. We had a great week of interviews, star-studded week of interviews. It was awesome. I enjoyed it, every bit of it. We're finishing off our last interview for the week. We have in Sandra Guerrero coming in to come get interviewed today. She is the 215-pound state champion this year. We're going to just talk to her, see how she's doing, see how everything went since the season has ended. And we look forward to hearing her story. I know she battled a couple injuries in her career, so I'd like to talk to her about some of those things. This is one of her favorite songs, Eminem, Lose Yourself. So as we start getting a couple people in to come join, what we started doing was it's an hour-long interview. So for the first half hour, we'll talk about, her season and all that. And then at the 30-minute mark, we'll let you guys ask some questions. And then we will go back to interview and then finish off with some more questions. So we'll get a lot of information from her, and we're gonna get her in right now. Okay? With Sandy. So about the 30-minute mark, we'll ask some questions, and we'll get her in here right now. Thanks for joining, guys. All right, we're good. Sandra, you in? Can you hear me? You can hear me good? Awesome. We got your favorite song on right now. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, good. It's not too loud, right?
No, you're good.
No, okay, cool. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm hanging in there, just taking it day by day. What have you been doing? You've been stuck at home, right?
Well, I've been helping my dad out at the school,
Yeah,
so we've been teaching martial arts pretty much almost every day. I actually helped move the mats in the basement, so we're gonna start teaching from home soon.
All right, that's good. We've been doing our Zoom classes as well, and your dad's the one that actually gave me the idea, the initial idea about Zoom, and I was one of I think I was one of the first wrestling clubs to start doing the Zoom, and then everyone else just followed suit. It's the best way to stay engaged with your wrestlers and stuff. And I know for you guys having a family business, it's something that you guys are doing as well, right?
Yeah, every day.
That's great. So you really kind of have no really time off, right? Because I know he has you doing all of the workouts, right?
A little bit, yeah. I've been doing my own stance and motion stuff because it's pretty much all I can do. But and then when I'm teaching the Zoom classes, I'm doing the stuff with the kids. So I'm doing 300 kicks a day and then push-ups and sit-ups and stuff. So I'm still getting my work for sure.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your dad for a second. Your dad owns Guerrero Martial Arts in Caldwell, New Jersey. He's doing a great job over there. I know he's like we just talked about. He's been doing really good, during these crises that we're going through right now. Let's talk about you starting off at an early age. I guess jiu-jitsu was the first thing you started with your dad. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
4 years old. I started. Actually, I didn't want to start. He had it was tough to get me on the mat. He told me, I don't remember this, of course, I was little, but he told me that I didn't want to take class, and he was like, all right, you're not going to go to any birthday parties. And I was like, fine, I'll try it. And then once I tried it, I loved it, so I never stopped.
That's I guess as a young kid, when someone tells you you can't go to any parties or something like that, I guess you got no choice, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh man. So did you do any other sports when you were younger?
I did swimming classes, dance when I was really little, and then it was just focused on jiu-jitsu.
So it was it something that you fell in love with right away, or was it something that it took some time to get used to?
No, the first time I got on the mat, I fell in love with it. How could you not?
No, I know. It's I'm gonna be a wrestling family one day. Me and Misty, we'll have our kids, and I'm hoping that when we have a boy or girl, that they're gonna come out, and she wants them to wrestle too. So we're gonna whether we have a boy or a girl. So and I'm on board with that. So they're gonna get pretty much born into a wrestling lifestyle right away, kind of just like what happened to you. You know, you kind of, realistically, I think you had no choice.
Yeah, I did. There's pictures of me as a baby with like the Gracies holding me on the mat.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
like, really grew up in this environment, and I'm just used to it. It's just how it is, and I love it.
So you said you started at 4 years old. When was it when you first started competing? How old were you?
4 in jiu-jitsu. I was 4 when I started competing.
You were going to tournaments right off the bat?
Yeah, when I was really.
Oh my God! Wow, that's a long time, man. So, what'd you say?
I don't remember, but my parents said my first jiu-jitsu tournament, I lost, but they said that some girl had me in an arm bar, and my parents always told me it's okay to tap, but she wasn't even holding my arm. We were 4. She didn't really have it, and I just tapped, and I was like, "Look, Papi, I tapped," and he was like, "No," but I messed up the medal, so I left with like 3 trophies as a 4-year-old losing fight. So I guess it turned out okay.
I mean, to walk away with a couple of trophies, a young kid, that's like seeing gold in your hand, you know, and that's like, you must have lit you up, and then that's kind of probably what motivates you to want to keep going to tournaments and stuff, right?
Of course, yeah.
That's awesome. So, what were some major tournaments that you did as far as grappling, like, you know, that you entered?
When I was little, it was just Naga, Grappler's Quest, the little local ones. I didn't really compete too crazy in jiu-jitsu because I started wrestling at 8, and then that's when I like really competed. It wasn't wrestling.
Yeah. So the transition from grappling to wrestling was obviously a pretty easy transition for you. Who actually got you involved with like the wrestling part of it?
So I had my best friend at the time. She wrestled for Verona. She was like, and we were in jiu-jitsu together. She would always be taking me down, and I was like, "How do you keep taking me down?" She's like, "Oh, well, I wrestle." I told my parents, I was like, "I'm gonna wrestle," and my dad was like, "Well, it's only gonna get your better, so why not?" So then they put me in wrestling, the rec program at West there.
Oh, so you started off at the West Orange Rec. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that was at 8 years old. And, I mean, that's like, what are you, 18 or 17 right now?
I'm 18, 10 years.
18. So that's 10 years ago. There was probably not that many girls on the team, right, at that time?
There was one other girl, and then she ended up quitting and being a cheerleader. But yeah, there was time.
I hear you. Hold on one second. I think because your mic is a little off, but I think I don't know if you're in a good location. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. We'll just move get up a little closer. There you go. All right, right there is good. Perfect. Stay right there. Because when I upload these videos, a lot of the comments go in people's faces. So I want your face is perfect. You're in a good spot. Yeah. So you start at 8 years old. There's not that many people, not that many girls that are wrestling at that time. I mean, but you already almost realistically, you had 4 years of grappling under your belt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you didn't go in there not knowing how to have any mat awareness or anything like that. You actually went in and had some type of ability, right?
Yeah. The toughest part I remember when I was 8 is I would get taken down in practice. They're like, "Don't go on your back." And I'm like, "What do you mean don't go on my back? Like, I fight for my back." And, jiu-jitsu is like guard and everything. I attack for my back. And they're like, "You can't do that." So that was hard because I used to get taken down and go right on my back. And they're like, "Stop doing that." They're like, "Belly, belly." And it just took me a while as an 8-year-old.
So how were you welcomed by the rest of the boys? Like you said, not many girls were wrestling at that time. Was it difficult? Did they just kind of just say, "Hey, just act like you were just like the rest of the guys on the team"? Like how was that?
Pretty much. I mean, it was rec, so you have like the older kids and then the younger kids, and the only other girl on the team a year older than me. So I was with her a lot of the time, but they didn't always put me with her because I was heavier than her. So I would go with the boys. I wouldn't really go with the other girl,
Yeah. No, I mean that's probably the way you got good. Wrestling with the boys all the time. So there in this day and age for girl wrestling in New Jersey at least, with New Jersey Wrestling, the girls only being in their second year officially with girls states, um, you are what I consider like the OG of girl wrestling because you wrestled back when wrestling was not even popular at all.
Yeah.
There's girls that I saw in the regions in the state tournament this year that were like first, second year wrestlers, you know, and there, don't get me wrong, there were some girls that were 1 or 2 year wrestlers that maybe have grappling background, so they were good right away.
Yeah.
There's some girls that just jumped on the mat and never wrestled a day in their life. So at the States, when you look at the bracket, you kind of see the separation of who has been wrestling a long time and who just like kind of started, right? You agree with that?
Yeah, like I know a lot of people don't do this, but what I do at tournaments is I look at my bracket and I look everybody up on Instagram and follow them right away. So I feel like that shows that I'm not scared of them. I love doing that. I love following them on Instagram right before.
That is very weird.
I love doing, I don't know. And then like you can, I wouldn't call it stalking, but like you can see, if they just started or not.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you look back like 2 years and you don't see a picture of them wrestling on Instagram, they just started. That must have been a little awkward. People are like, oh man, this girl's about to be in my bracket. What is she doing here?
I loved it. I love doing that. It's mental.
And you're kind of playing a little mind games with them. I like that. It's actually pretty good. The only thing you can never do is you can never post any videos of you doing any type of technique because they start picking it up.
Yeah, I've never.
It seems like some people know that you do that already. So they said, "You love power force." That's funny. I know we got some new people that signed on. Sandy the stalker. We got some new people that signed on. So at the 8:35 mark, we're gonna stop for a second, do a couple of questions, and then we'll go back into the interview and then more questions at the end. So, you start wrestling at 8, you're what I call the original OG of girl wrestling, and you're wrestling boys throughout your whole career. I know that you probably entered the girl youth tournament a couple times. How'd you do as a wrestler?
So if you know Jewel Gonzalez,
of course, yep.
We were in the same bracket, so I lost to her. I never got first as a kid. I'd always get to the finals, and we didn't have that many matches. It'd be like 2 or 3 matches. I'd get to the finals and lose to her, and people think like she's really muscular, and she's always been like that. Even as like a 10-year-old kid, like she's always been like that. And I remember wrestling her, and I was like, oh, I want to be this good one day.
She is tough, man. I mean, is she wrestling in college?
She is, yeah. I think she's going to Gannon, but I don't know if that's gonna change.
Yeah, I mean, she's like we talked about. I could tell who were the people who wrestled a long time and who didn't, and you kind of separate yourself. So I talk to people about this all the time. I say that in about 10 years, right, when this is super popular, when then brackets are bigger at the girls' state tournament, which I'm hoping, you're going to maybe have top 16 girls that are been wrestling a long time.
Yeah.
That are there. And it's going to be like, you're gonna wrestle a pre-quarter match. You're gonna wrestle somebody who's legit, and I think that the gap's gonna get closer, and hopefully, it brings more attention to wrestling. And then, if we could get an all-girl team for every high school to wrestle each other, will be amazing. I don't know if you catch our interview yesterday with Isabella. She's a grappler, turning to wrestler. And we talked about girls like you, especially you, because you've been wrestling a lot longer than her. But girls like you, girls like her, in 10, 15, 20 years from now, when girl wrestling is humongous, which it already is, we'll look back and they'll always remember you guys. You guys will always be like the ones who kind of created this whole path. I mean, do you feel about you being like the originals?
I mean, it feels good. I think it'll feel better like when I'm older and I can tell, I was one of the first ones. That's cool to say. We're part of history, and I don't think I realized that I was a part of history like growing up. That's what I was a part of. Wrestling practice, let's go. But like now that it's sanctioned and they're making a big deal out of it, which was awesome. We're actually getting recognition. I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool, you know?
Well, I just want to give you a little reality check so you can understand. I got girls that are 7, 6, 8 years old that are in our wrestling club that look up to you guys like superstars. All right,
Awesome.
they idolize you, and they idolize like girls like you and even like Samira. Even Samira's only in 7th grade.
Yeah.
But they look up to you guys and they want to be you one day. And a couple of them went to states and they saw you wrestle this year, and they were super. They came home and they're like, I want to be like her. I want to win states. So you do a lot more than you think, and it's very it's awesome that you are part of it. And I wish you would have won it last year. You could have the first year they had girl states, but you went this year and you did your business. We'll get into that. So now let's talk about, we talked yesterday to Bella about like setbacks and comebacks. Okay. We talked earlier about you having some major injuries with your knee.
Yeah.
When did that start?
So the first one, I knee 4 times past 2 years, and it's all on the left knee every time, and it's like different things every time. So dislocating my kneecap, partially tearing ligaments and stuff, and then it all led up to a surgery that I had in July. But the knee was like a huge thing for me. I mean, last year, the 3rd time I hurt my knee was at Regions last year, and then 11 days later I wrestled at States. Was that the best idea? I don't know. But I was stuck on bottom and I couldn't stand up because of the pain, and I was like, and I lost 2 matches because of it, which sucked, but there's nothing I can do about it now. So.
Yeah, so you took 4th in the state as in your junior year, and you probably weren't really at 100%.
And I got hurt in my region finals, so I got 2nd at regions and then 4th at states, and that really hurt because I was undefeated at that point.
Gotcha.
And getting injured and then losing.
Gotcha. And then so I've known your dad for a long time. I've known you, like I've seen you. I knew that you wrestled and stuff like that. It wasn't until this year that, for the last maybe 2 months of the season that you started coming to train over at the club. You started coming sparingly at the beginning, and then you started coming often. And then a lot of your teammates started to follow, like Precious, who took 2nd in the state this year.
Yeah.
And a couple of your girls that came. So we got to know each other a little bit better in these last couple of months, and it was a pleasure working with you because, I told a couple of like my guy wrestlers, I say, listen, I think I like coaching girls better. And they're like, why is that, coach? And I said, I think I like coaching girls because they like appreciate when you teach them things. And I go, you want to know what? I go, we'll teach them a move, and then they'll do it the next match. So I'm like, and then some of these guys will teach them something. We don't see it all year long,
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I was just busting with them, and it's true though, because I mean, you guys were like sponges. You picked up on everything, I know you're really good friends with, and you've probably known for a very long time, Coach Joe Sable at our wrestling club.
I love Coach.
Love Joe Sable. And I know that was like a driving force when you first started coming, because I know your dad and him are really good friends. Mm-hmm. So it kind of brought you to us, and that's when we built, our connection there. And your cousin Danny and a couple of his teammates started coming to the club. And I know they're underclassmen too, right?
Yeah, Danny's an underclassman.
Danny's an underclassman, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed him being at the wrestling club. I think he has a bright future. I think that if he sticks with it, I think he could do something. I'm hoping that he continues to do some off-season trainings, comes by us a little full-time and commits, because he could be really good too,
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And, so Joe Sable was like, yeah, this girl, that's, girl's daughter. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, no. I was like, I've known her, and he loves working with you too. You guys have a good bond. Talk about like your bond with Joe Sable.
Oh, he's the best. I think I like him a lot because he's really honest with me. He's like brutally honest. Like I'll show him matches and he's like, don't ever do that ever again. And I was like,
that's Joe Sable right there for you.
I was like, I'm not gonna argue with him. I'm not gonna tell him, oh, it's my style. Like, no, he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows way more than me than I'll ever know. And I'm just gonna listen to what he says, and it works. So, you know.
It's funny the relationship you guys have, because you guys, like, you don't take it easy on you, and he, like, you know, he'll go at you and he'll wrestle you, you know, and he won't even care whether you're a girl or not. He just goes after you, you know.
Yeah.
And you guys, I like the relationship you guys have. You guys have a real good relationship. You guys are always smiling when you're training and stuff like that, which is good. So this year, you go into your senior year. Again, you battled injuries. You were coming into the club. You had your knee brace on. Yeah. We had to tell some of the kids at the club, just be careful. Don't go out of knee and stuff like that. We didn't want anything to happen drastic, because that this was your year.
Yeah.
How did you feel coming into this year? Did you have that mindset that this is your year?
Yeah, so I knew that the only thing that could stop me from having a perfect record is getting injured. I knew that was the only thing stopping me. And then just, like, not giving up, not using the knee as an excuse, of course, because people do that and then you're screwed. Like, you're not going to get anywhere. So I'm like, I just don't want to be in the same place I was last year. The whole time my school coaches were telling me, you have unfinished business. You have unfinished business. And I kept saying that to myself, and I just got the job done, at the end of the day. So. Yeah,
I mean, so you win your first region, right, this year?
Yeah.
North Jersey region. Okay. Also, let's take it back a little bit. How many tournaments did you enter this year, like opens?
We went to 4.
4 opens? Yeah. And how'd you do on all those?
I got first in all of them. Actually, up until my state finals, I had all pins, and I hadn't gone to third period at all. So I was just used to, 3.5-minute matches, less than that, and finishing it quick.
I had similar stories. Senior year, I was 35-0 with 35 pins in the first period. And my quarterfinal match, I actually went into the third period, and I was like kind of tired. And I'm like, how am I tired? I train every day of my life, but it's different when you're in a match.
Yeah.
When you are in practice, you think you're in shape, So I get you there 100% how that was. This year, did you wrestle any matches with the West Orange team, like any against guys, or did you have a full season?
Did the girls wrestle the guys?
Did you wrestle?
Oh, no. It's actually the first year I didn't wrestle guys. Because when you wrestle guys, it's JV. And would if I was 106, but I'm not. So I'd be wrestling like big boys,
I know that.
And trying to avoid injury, I was like, it's not worth it. It doesn't count on my record. It's not going to get me better probably. So I'll just stick to practice and then competing with girls.
So again, taking a little bit of step back, because I definitely want to talk about your senior year campaign, which is something I'm looking forward to talk to you about. With this whole coronavirus going on right now, it took a major hit, all sports, especially wrestling and stuff like that. If things got a little crazier a week before Atlantic City.
Oh, I'm so lucky. It's insane.
If it was crazier, the state tournament would have been canceled, and you would have never had your shot to go for gold. Talk about that.
I think about that all the time. As soon as we came back Sunday morning, and then, I was at school and everyone's congratulating me, and then they're like, all right, school's closed on Friday. All right, school's closed again. And I was like, and then they canceled everything, NCAA's, all these tournaments. And I was like, I just made it. And that's insane, because I was watching videos of other senior wrestlers in other states. This one kid in Ohio, he made a video on YouTube, and he's crying. He'll never be a state champ. And I was like, that is scary.
That's funny you say that, because Misty's cousin, it was his first year. He was in Ohio. It was his first year that he would have had a shot to win a state title. And he was having a great year, and they canceled it out on them.
It's not even postponed; it's canceled. And I was like, it's not fair to anybody.
So I mean, you guys dodged a huge bullet. Yeah. I mean, you got it off. Unfortunately, the next weekend the kids' state tournament got canceled. Yeah. One of the things that you used to tell me were, at practice you were like, okay, once the folk style season's over, I hang my shoes and I put on my freestyle shoes, so per se, and you're like, and you don't even want to know about Scholastic anymore. So
Yeah.
now, you know, after your state tournament, which we'll get back into, we, you know, you were super excited, super ready for your freestyle season. And I don't even know if we're going to get it in. So, I mean, tell me about how you feel about that.
So the reason I'm so excited for freestyle is because I'm not injured this year. You know, I was supposed to go to Fargo for the past 2 years. Like, my parents paid for it and everything, and I got hurt a month before and couldn't. And I, like, did Fargo, the Team New Jersey practices and everything. Like, I was ready to go, and then got hurt 2 years in a row, which sucked. And I was like, you know, this is my year, you know, folk style. I did that. That's good. It's time for freestyle. And women's wrestling in college is only freestyle, so Scholastic is done. Never doing that again. So I was just excited to get it started. And then, you know, that all happening. I'd love for Fargo to happen. They haven't canceled it, so we'll see.
Is it canceled yet or no?
No, they haven't canceled
Oh,
it.
they haven't canceled it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I hope to God. I know it's further out in July.
Yeah.
I just know as we keep going on, it's like, you know, things kept getting canceled. Like for us, it was the War of the Shore, and I don't even know if high school nationals got postponed and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that we could get it in. I really, you know, I know Coach Sable was looking forward to, you know, coaching and doing some freestyle and Greco at the club, and you know, we wanted to see how many girls we could get out to go to Fargo and enter Team New Jersey and stuff like that. So, you know that it's you know, horrible that it's happening, but hopefully we get it in. You know, I know you were definitely looking forward to being on Team New Jersey, and I think you would have did. Well, we'll still keep hope that you do really good this year in that freestyle. You know, what would you say?
Oh, I was just thinking about how the rankings came out, and they said I was ranked 9th in the nation. I don't know how accurate that is, because there's other people in there, like Jewel, who's ranked 12th. So I don't know how accurate the rankings are. But I was like, you know, All Americans only top 8. Like,
yeah, I mean, you're right there. I mean, you're right there in the spot. I mean, so Jewel would actually be in your weight class in freestyle?
No, she's like, I think she's wrestling 164. I think.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I thought that's what you were saying, that she was ranked in the same weight class as you.
No. She's ranked for weight class.
Okay, and let me ask you a question. You know, are you gonna go wrestle in college? Are you? Yeah, where are you going?
So I'm not supposed to say on social media.
Okay, we're not gonna. It's not great then, but you are gonna wrestle in college, though, right?
Yeah, I verbally committed somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So that means that you still gonna actively compete and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything possibly after wrestling that you may do? Anything like MMA or anything, or?
No, I don't think I'll ever.
No?
I like getting punched in the face. I don't think.
Maybe some grappling tournaments or something like that?
Maybe. Not, I mean, I haven't done jiu-jitsu, and so when I'm not doing jiu-jitsu, I'm either injured or wrestling. So, you know, I've done that. I mean, recently I've been working with my dad doing the Zoom videos, so that's the most recent jiu-jitsu training I've gotten. But if I think if I got in a tournament now, I'd get wrecked.
Well, let's again. So let's talk about that again. Let's talk about your family support. All right. You know, I was sitting behind your mom and dad, who were in the corner of your match, and your mom was filming your match, and I'm like, how the hell is she gonna pull this off? Like, you know,
so funny.
That video is not gonna be perfect.
It's so funny.
It's gonna be in the crowd. It's gonna be here, but she was keeping it nice and tight.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I was like watching it, and I turned the volume up, and she's like, "Come on, baby girl, you can do it. Come on, Sandy, you got it, honey."
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then at the end of the video, you can like hear her crying, and it's so cute. I love.
Yeah, I mean, I saw. I was watching your match, but they were entertaining to watch too. You know, they were, you know, jumping up and down, moving around. Your dad looks like, you know, he's in his stance kind of in a way. You know, and I was entertained watching them. So, you know, I know how excited they were. So just tell me about your support of your family.
Oh, 100%, of course, all the way. I mean, it's so similar to jiu-jitsu, so how could they not? And the original idea was just to get my jiu-jitsu better. You know, it wasn't supposed to be wrestling focused. And then I started wrestling, and you know, I did it seasonally. I didn't do it like I didn't do club or anything when I was younger. Yeah. I didn't start going to club until my sophomore year of high school, and that's when I started taking it seriously. And I was like, you know, I could actually win. I just have to put in the work. So I joined a club, and I started working, lifting, and got results. So
very nice, very nice. Why don't we? What's that?
My parents always helped me all the way. They brought me to club. They paid for club and Fargo, and they did everything they could. They got me to Coach Joe and got me all the best coaches. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's super important to have that support system, especially being a girl in right now, you know, male-dominated sport for now. But they, for them to have that support for you must mean a lot to you, right?
Yeah, and I've talked to other girls, and they're like, my parents think I'm running winter track right now. I'm like, what? And they're like, no. Like, they don't know I'm wrestling. Or I've had girls tell me that they told their parents they're wrestling, they were against it, quit. And it makes me sad because it's like, I wish they had what I had, but it makes me grateful, you know, at the same time.
Well, what they're doing is, like I told you, you guys are being trailblazers. So in 10 years, girls don't have to lie to their parents if they're wrestling.
Yeah.
It's going to be common. It's going to be common, and all the girls are going to be doing it.
Yeah.
So why don't we take a couple questions, and then we'll go back into your senior year campaign. I'm not sure if you saw any questions down below. I don't know if you saw anything. If you want to, Sandy, open the door. I got to pee. What's that about? I don't know. People talking about this year, how you did. Guys, if you have any questions, it's the time to ask. We're going to ask. Someone said, Sandy, do you remember when you snapped your spine, their spine? I don't know. Somebody you might have hurt along the way.
Yours are more updated than mine because mine are. Like...
Oh yeah, I went all the way back to the beginning. Someone said I was really on.
Oh, Precious is on here. Precious.
Oh, Precious is on. What's up, Precious? What's going on? Precious was a silver medalist this year. She was a treat to work with this year too. It was awesome.
Wrestler. So she's one of those people who just started, and she's like so athletic. And I really do like. I don't think I would have been able to win if I had a different partner. I really don't, because she's insane. She pushed me the whole time, and she just started wrestling. It's crazy.
And I used to watch you guys in practice, and you got some weight on her, and but she's got that strength, she would like. You would take her down hard, and she won't give up, and she'll keep coming. You'll keep going, man.
Yeah. Like when she first started, I mean, she was already athletic, and she lost 20 pounds. She dropped 2 weight classes over the season, which is insane. But when we first started, I would beat up on her in practice just because I knew how to wrestle and she didn't. And then every week, you know, it harder to beat her, and I was like, "What is happening?" She just got better so quickly. It's insane. I'm so grateful for her to be my partner, and like I really that's what I really did.
Yeah, and then she's another one where she's another one about, you know, that I told her that she should definitely wrestle in college, you know, 100%, you know.
Yeah. I'm working on
people talking about, you know, what, so who are other coaches are, who you know, so talk about your other coaches, talk about your West Orange coaches, and I'll look for some questions.
They're awesome. So we have like 7 of them. It's a big coaching staff, and they're great. They all have like specific jobs. Like one of them is more technical, one of them is conditioning, and they're all all know what they're doing. It's a lot of fun. But the main ones that coached me were Zakella, our head coach, and Coach Spina. They were in my corner for the season, and then for the state finals and all that, which was awesome. We were saying their name.
Yeah. You got a great coaching staff over there at West Orange. You got a lot. How many girls came out for the team this year?
On the first day, we had 21. And then just like any other season, you know, numbers drop as it goes on. And I told them, I was like, you know, this is a great first group, not for everybody. And you're going to see how hard it really is. Because I don't want to say I lied, but like when I was recruiting girls, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Just come out and try it. You'll love it.
So you were the lead recruiter for the team. I love it.
Yeah, we did it. We had 5 girls last year, and then this year we had a lot more. I think we had 13 by the end of the season, 13, 14.
And that's good. And that's good because if you got some freshmen and sophomores out there, that you definitely started something good for them. How do you deal with self-doubt?
Oh, okay. So I think the biggest self-doubt I had this year was just, the whole unfinished business thing. Like I didn't do it last year. I let the injury get in the way, or maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of things that went into last year. I was like, the only way I could lose is if I stop moving at any point. And that's what really went into my last match.
Yeah.
My state finals match. I actually cried 15 minutes before the match.
You cried before the match?
Yeah, and that's never happened before. And it was like a mix of nerves and just wanting it so bad. And I just wanted it so bad. And my dad's talking to me. And Zakella had us in a back room in AC. Like, there was like a room in the back where he took me, so I wasn't with the noise and the lights and everything. Yeah. And I started crying. And they're like, go wash your face. And I was like, washing my face. But the only way I could possibly lose is if I stop moving and give up on the mat. That's the only way I could lose. There's no way, because she doesn't know any more than me. And that's how I thought of all my opponents. They don't know any more than me.
Of course. I don't want to go too far into the states finals, because I want to introduce it. And I want to go into it. I want to ask, well, you crying before the match. That was awesome. Yeah. Usually you do that after the match. I think Precious said you lied when you said it was easy when you recruited her. You lied that it wasn't hard. So everyone loved it anyway. Justin Lopez, let me see. Let's go answer my question. Okay, I think we answered your question. How did Jaqueline ask, how do you get ready for your matches?
Oh, Jackie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So for like regular tournaments, we'd usually warm up at the team, or I'd lead them to warm up and run around, do our basic stuff, drill a little bit. And then, right before you match, when you're like bouncing by yourself, something that I stopped this year, I used to listen to music before my matches. And then this year I was like, that didn't really work for me last year. I don't know. So I stopped listening to music before my matches, and I would just like bounce around the mat, and I would look for my opponent and just like stare. I would bounce.
You truly are a stalker. The more and more I'm trying to see. Who is your favorite wrestler? Do you have an idol?
Adeline Gray, for sure. She's amazing. I mean, I have her shoes. She's the best. She's like Jordan. I love watching her.
Yeah, I'm a fan of her too. I think she's really good. How do you mentally get ready? I think we kind of got into that, right?
Something I would repeat to myself right before wrestling. I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in my training. I can do anything. I would repeat that to myself right before my matches, just so I wouldn't get scared or nervous or anything. I mean, I still would. Any human would. But that definitely helped with the nerves. Turn the nerves into excitement.
Yeah. And we got... So are you going to come back to West Orange to see us next year?
Of course. I'm visiting all the time next year, whenever I can.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's like you're leaving your pack that you created,
So much. I wish that this we had like a full girls team all 4 years of high school, which my freshman year was like 3 of us, sophomore year was like 4, and then 5, and then 13. So it's like a big boom. As soon as they sanctioned women's wrestling, people are like, oh, this is a real thing. I can do it too. So then, girls started coming, which was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. And someone said, how do you keep pushing yourself?
I think it's just a love for the sport. It's fun, I love it so much. I've sacrificed a lot, but I don't even see it as sacrifices. I just see it, I think about like when my friends were like, oh, do you want to go hang out after school? I was like, no, I have practice. And they're like, you always have practice. And I was like, well, I want to win. So it's the only way I can do it.
That's why you're the champ.
2 practices a day. And I was like, well, I want to win,
You have someone said, have you ever felt excluded being a girl?
Of course. I think growing up a lot, I've had parents just give me nasty looks. I think the biggest moment was my 7th grade my first match of the season in 7th grade. I pinned this kid, a boy, and he didn't shake my hand after. And obviously it was like disrespect. And I was like, okay. And I found out later that he got kicked off the team. His dad was actually the coach. He got kicked off the team for that. But I remember, like, as we were packing up and stuff, I went over to their side, like, where they were, and I grabbed his hand and I shook it. And he, like, muttered and, like, cursed at me a little bit under his breath. I didn't care. I wanted to get my handshake. I won fair and square. So
No, it's tough position, you know. Do you practice 7 days a week?
I did in season. Yeah, I've had at least 1 practice, 1 to 2 practices a day. You know?
Yeah. At all year long that we got to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Wrestling's not an easy sport. You got to get time to give yourself a break.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this gave us a mental break in a way. You know, this whole thing right now, but it's dragging a little bit. So now it's like, you know, we want to itching to get back on the mat and stuff like that. You know. Another question is, we'll take like 3 more questions. How do you stay positive?
Just thinking about my goals, you know, and everything. What I really learned about, like, when I was injured, I realized I took it for granted. Like, when I couldn't bend my leg and I was on crutches, and it felt like forever, I was like, all I want to do is get on the mat. So then when I was 100%, I was like, all right, this is go time. I'm not going to take anything for granted. I'm going to push. I'm going to work hard and get what I want. So I really thought about that. Like, whenever I hear people complain about practice or anything, I just think about the time when I physically could not practice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a driving force, you know, for you.
I hate being injured, but I think I needed it mentally just so.
No, I hear that, you know. Yeah. Someone asked, how do you recover after a loss?
So the last time I lost was Freestyle Nationals in Texas, and I went 0-2 in that tournament. And it was just, I actually wasn't doing too bad. My first match was against the girl who got second in Fargo the year before. I didn't know that, so I didn't really care going into the match. And I was beating her, and then I made a stupid mistake and got myself pinned. But that's because I was greedy in a match instead of just, like, she went for a batch brawl. And instead of going behind like a normal person would to get to, I tried, like, doing an assassin's roll, and then I got put to my back. But I you know, I needed to lose.
Wait, hold, because we have a lot of comments. Is there a way maybe you can turn your phone a little bit so we can maybe have your face like above it, maybe? No, not like that. The other way. Keep it just keep it the way you had it. The way you had it was good. Yeah. And just like they get right there. Like, move over a little bit more. That way. The other way. That way. Yep.
Oh, okay. It's opposite for me.
No. Actually, where you were was good. Go back. Right there. Yeah. So move your chair over there. Move your chair that way. You're good. Okay. So, all right. So we'll ask a couple more questions later. And let me see what someone says. What do you have to say to? I'll take this question now. What do you have to say to all the girls out there dreaming of being a state champ?
I mean, everyone's human. I think that one person that I really looked up to right before, I was watching Helen Maroulis' videos, and not just like her regular wrestling matches before the Olympics, because Yoshida was the best ever, and she like did not lose. Helen like dropped 18 pounds just to make that Olympic weight class just so she could wrestle the best. And I was like, it's crazy. But I was like, you know, she's human, and anybody can lose. Everyone's beatable, you know?
Yeah.
Beatable.
Sure.
I'm beatable, so I definitely think anybody can do it. You have to put in the work, though. You can't just say you want it. You have to put in the work.
I like that. That's a really very positive.
A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I want to win. It's like, everybody wants to win.
Of course. It's what you do different than someone else, you know?
Exactly.
This is the last question I'm going to take right now. So when throughout your life do you think was your peak in wrestling? When throughout your life, yeah. Like, when did you think that you peaked most? Like,
now?
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I think now. I mean, I think my last peak was in 7th grade because, you know, girls hit puberty for boys, so I was just stronger than everybody I wrestled, and I was just like manhandling boys at 12 years old. And then they hit puberty and became freakishly strong. But yeah, now for sure. And I put in the work, and I deserved it this year. So
that's awesome. Well, you deserve everything that you got this year. I'm super proud of you.
Thank
So
you.
so you go into the state tournament this year, okay? And you, in your semifinal match, you wrestled a girl by the name of Valerie Alcalantara
Yeah.
from Perth Amboy,
Hmm.
who upset the defending state champ in a
Yeah.
quarterfinal match. Um,
It's crazy.
did you get a little nervous before that match, like thinking like, you know?
No, so since I got first at regions, I had to buy into the semis, but I still went in to watch the quarterfinals, and I just assumed it was really bad. You should never assume anything, but I assumed the defending state champ would win. I just assumed it,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I just assumed she was gonna win, so I was just watching the match, seeing what was happening. Then I saw that Valerie was winning, and I've actually wrestled Valerie 4 times before. The fifth time was at States. And I was like, go Valerie! Like I was cheering for her during her match. And I saw that she pinned her and I was like, well, I got this in the bag. Like once I saw that, I was like, beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. So
Yeah, I mean, so you were like 4-2 with her, going into the second period, right?
yeah.
And then you turned her and you pinned her. I mean, I guess are you guys friendly? You guys are friendly, obviously. Like,
We're friendly whenever we see each other. I mean, even the day of the quarterfinals, I gave her a hug. I was like, good luck today.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't, she really.
You know what? Okay. And again, I don't know. All right, let me say this. You know how we talked about the separation of the girls, like the girls, been wrestling a long time, and the girls are just starting.
Well, the girls are.
Well, no, but what I've noticed though, some girls are friendly with each other. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, I saw girls like kind of warming up next to each other and talking in the back, and the boys, they don't even look at each other. They kill.
Yeah.
I think that mentality will change in years to come with girls when
of course.
girls that have been wrestling a long time are now like they're full-time wrestlers and they're looking at their competition. So things like moments like that of you cheering for somebody in a quarterfinal match to win, I don't think in a couple of years is going to happen that way. I mean, I like the friendship, but in wrestling, there's no friends.
It's weird because I'm never friendly before a match, but after I beat you, I'm like, hey, hi. And so the girls are really nice. And actually, the third time that I wrestled Valerie earlier this year, she told me to my face, she's like, I want you to win states.
Yeah, it don't happen like that with the boys. I'm telling you right now. They you got best friends that are wrestling each other. They don't like each other. So
even the Walk of Champions, like the Walk of Champions, which I hated that it was before the finals. I hate that it was before the finals because like everyone's talking except the finalists. Like you're talking to everybody in weight class except the girl you're. So
yeah, I mean usually they put one in the front, one in the back.
Yeah.
And then so you guys don't talk to each other and you guys you stay focused. So they did something this year pretty cool that they haven't done since 2000. In 2000, when I wrestled in the state finals in Meadowlands, was the first time ever, okay, that they ever did a spotlight on the finals.
Oh, that was so scary.
They've never done that before, okay, ever. And this was the first year that they tried again. It was a surprise to everybody. No one knew that was going to happen. No one, when the lights went off, I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Like, is a blackout? What's going on? And then you see the spotlight come on. What weight class did they start the finals?
They started the girls at 161.
Okay, 161. So you have a couple matches before you, right?
Yeah.
So
in my match, and I was practicing in a back room, so I didn't even know about the lights or anything.
Really?
So when I went out and everything turns out, I was like, and then they're like, all right, go run. And I didn't even know where the corner was. I was just running.
Oh, man.
I didn't know where I was going.
That's hilarious.
I hope this is my corner. And then, I got lucky. I went to
Wait a minute. I didn't even notice. Did you have your glasses on when you were running out?
No.
Oh, man.
I couldn't see the lights were out. There's this bright light in my face. And I was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go right now.
And I know how blind you are when you take those glasses off. That must have been, you're just like, let me follow that rug.
Yeah.
Follow the rug. It's gonna get to the mat, and I'm gonna go out there, and once I touch the mat, I know I'm good.
Yeah.
and so the spotlight go out. Did that make you more electric, or did that get you a little bit more nervous?
It was unexpected. I wasn't ready for it. So when it happened, I was like, huh, this is cool,
Yeah.
looking, but you're not even like thinking about everyone looking. You're just thinking about, it's me and the one other person on the mat. And then, as you're running out, you're like, all right, it's go time, it's show time to perform for everybody here. So
That's awesome. That's a great attitude. So you wrestle Joel Klein, who from Lower Cape May in the finals. Have you guys ever wrestled each other before?
Never.
Okay.
No. I went up a weight, so
Oh, okay.
I 185 last year, and then went up to heavyweight this year.
Yeah.
Never wrestled before.
So you guys know nothing. Wait, I got a question. Did you Instagram stalk her?
We met at a clinic, a Wrestle Like a Girl clinic a year ago.
Okay.
So I followed her since last year, and then I don't even know if she followed me back, but I've known about her for a long time. And then here I found out, oh, we're gonna be wrestling. So
that's awesome. So you guys meet in the finals, and you go out there and you wrestle, and you ended up getting a 4-0 decision.
7-0.
7-0.
Yeah.
7-0. Okay. Well, NJO got it wrong. You win 7-0. You get you get that state championship that you have probably been thinking about since you've been 8 years old. You started wrestling. Like I said, you're the original OG of wrestling, and you get your hand raised. You were very emotional. I was emotional. Everyone that was sitting with me, we're all cheering for you. Your coaches were going nuts. Like we talked earlier, your parents were there.
Yeah.
Tell me that feeling when you got your hand raised in front of 10,000 plus people at Boardwalk.
Is that how many people are there? I can't even.
They have it average about 7,000 to 10,000 people there. Yeah,
That's
fine.
crazy.
Yeah.
I know, like, I heard my mom screaming the time. She's like, 10, 9. And all I was thinking about was pinning her, because I got those last 3 back points at the end.
Yeah, you were close.
I was so close to pinning her. I'm like, every match is ended by pin. Why can't I pin this girl?
Yeah.
Like, if I had, 10 more seconds, I probably would have been able to do it. But it's fine. I'm happy with what happened. And then, as soon as I realized, I was like, oh, I did it. Okay. Like, all those years of hard work and the injuries, and it was all worth it. That's all I was thinking about. And they raised my hand, and I usually go shake the other coach's hand, but I didn't realize, while my hand was raised, I didn't realize I had to turn around, and then the ref's pulling me.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then when I turned back around, I just saw my coaches, and I ran towards them, gave them a hug, and then my mom's crying. I start crying. It's really emotional.
You almost had us crying. I mean, we had a bunch of us, and super big bear hug you gave your family. It was, like you said, all the years of practicing, the criticism you got younger, everything you went through, navigating yourself to that ultimate moment where maybe when you were 8, you never thought this would ever happen in your lifetime, and it happens. You're going to be put down in history as a state champion. You'll always be a state champ for the rest of your life, for as long as you live. It's something that no one could ever take away from you. And you know what? If there's anyone more deserving for that state championship this year, it was you, because you put in all that time and effort, and it all came to light. And, you had, being your first state champ out of West Orange ever. You'll be down in history there. Hopefully, you go into the Hall of Fame, and maybe the New Jersey State Hall of Fame one day. And we're super happy for you.
Thank you. And what's crazy too is Joelle, we were both undefeated. So, somebody had to lose. And I was just thinking, I've worked way too hard. I've just worked way too hard, There's no way. And then I kept repeating the same things to myself, and everybody was there, and they were all ready, and they were like, stop crying, wash your face. And I was doing fast feet in the back before he came out, and it was all worth it at the end. And actually, I think one of her coaches came up to me after. He was like, that was a pretty good match. I wish I was congratulating you in second place. And I was like, okay. Interesting thing to say.
We got about 6 minutes left, so we got to. If anyone got quick questions, she's gonna bang them out real quick. Until I see any questions, I'll keep talking to you. you got a lot of love. You got a lot of people on here now that came online to come support you. If you were such a great person and a humble champ, a lot of people would not have these nice things to say. But I'm reading the comments down below. It seems like you got a lot of good friends around you, right?
Yeah. I told him to come on and ask me dumb questions to be funny.
I haven't seen any yet, but we only have about maybe 4 to 5 minutes left, guys. If you want to just ask a quick question before we let Sandra go. I know your dad's been on here a couple of times. That?
He's setting up the mats right now in the basement.
Oh, he is? Okay. What did you get out of the Cordoba club?
Oh my gosh, a lot. Are you kidding? I got Coach Joe.
I wish you would have started earlier, man, with us. But let me tell you that the little time that you were there, you were, I told you, like a sponge, and hopefully, and you know what, you being at that club, you've made my little girls so proud, and I see a couple of them are on right now, and hopefully when you're wrestling in college, you stick around, and we'd love to have you by to come help out and coach our wrestling girls. What days would you go to club? Our club days that we would go were Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. They were at 7:45. You guys can go to cordobatrained.com, to check it out.
Can't wait till we can go back.
Yeah, no, I know. Why don't you tell so many people your Instagram name?
At Sandy K Guerrero.
And do you have a Twitter?
I don't use it.
Okay. Do you TikTok?
I do use TikTok.
TikTok. What is your TikTok name?
Sandy G1224.
All right, we got to come check out some of your videos. You must have a lot of time in your hand. Maybe you do some nice videos for. Can you dance? You're a good dancer. I know you got that Latin in you.
The most recent one, my school put up a banner in the very front, like on Pleasant Valley Way, that they made a huge banner that says my name and first state champ and everything. So my most recent TikTok is in front of the banner outside. We were breaking curfew to do that too.
Wow. They want you to do a dance right now. Can you do something for us right now?
Oh my gosh, I hate my friends.
Come on, we only got 3 minutes. You got to do a show something. Let's see what a state champ dance like.
I'm gonna do the one that Precious can't do. I tried teaching it to her, but she couldn't do it.
Let's go. Oh shit!
They're all commenting. That's so funny.
All right.
The TikToks we did with the team was so much fun. I loved that this year.
Someone said, "Is that the Renegade?" That's not the Renegade, right? No. That is the Renegade. Oh, okay. I heard about that. I've seen it online and stuff like that. I didn't really know but Precious, you got to do it. You got to practice. You got to see do your.
I tried teaching her in AC.
Oh man. People want your autograph. All right. Well, listen. Let's leave it like this. Listen. We love you. We came very close this end of the season. We love having you around. We wish you nothing but the best. Hopefully, we see on your Instagram where you committed to college. We're going to be watching you. We're going to be supporting you. You always have a wrestling club to go to come to practice on your off days or when you're not around your college. So we wish you all the luck in the world. And you got a great family and great support. And don't forget to go check out Guerrero Academy in Caldwell. And you could do some of their Zoom classes. Is there anything last you want to say?
No, thanks for listening, guys. I love you too.
Awesome, guys. All right. So I'm going to put this video on YouTube at David Cordoba. So once I have it downloaded, I'll send it to you and you can send it to your people, all right? So have a good night. Have a good weekend. We love you all, guys. Thanks for the comments. We'll see you guys real soon. We got the state champ in the house. Your 15-pound state champ. What do we got there? Oh, we got the medal. Guys, we want more state champs. Thank you to everybody. Champ, we'll see you soon, and hopefully get on the mat soon, all right?
I can't wait.
All right, guys. See you later, guys. Bye.